back for round 4. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is Kirk.
And I'm Barbara.
And we've been musing this month about the mystic and mysticism and what it has to do with your life. So, what's brewing?
So the thing I'd like to talk about is the concept of foolishness. I know you talk about the mystic, and an essential piece is dealing with maybe our own fear of looking foolish.
Yeah.
So can we talk a little bit? Will you talk a little bit about what that's all about?
Yeah. Well, if you think about mysticism and thinking about, there's no separation between you and me and all of creation. That's a pretty mad-sounding idea, and all the mystics have always been called. In fact, they were called fools. Many times they were called fools. They were called mad people. They were certainly seen as outcasts, and so they've always been listening to their own drumbeat. They've been listening to what we call in flesh and spirit the idea of being their own authority. That they could have a direct experience of the divine. I think immediately of Joan of Arc, who is, no matter what you've kind of thought of her life, she was truly a mad mystic, and she listened to the voices of the ancestors, the saints, who informed her of her connection with the divine and gave her instructions for her life and her mission. So it was a direct experience with the divine. That's pretty foolish. And I know is we do this workshop that we're going to do at the end of the month, April 30th. And if any of you can join us, please do. But we're actually going to do what my beloved has created called the Order of the Pink Velvet Ear Greeters. And the idea, and we'll initiate you into becoming a greeter on this workshop. But for those of you who are not going to physically be with us, just kind of imagine dressing up in a big pink bunny outfit, and we call them habits, and going out in mass. There'll probably be about 12 of us going out in mass on the streets and waving at people and saying hello. And as we do, though, the mission is that we lock our eyes into the eyes of another, that we see the beloved. So your conversation a couple videos back was about the namaste, seeing the divine within each person. And what we know is that when you do that, something really changes.
Yes.
Barbara and I both have done it.
Yes,
and
it's amazing. Yeah.
It just really changes everything, doesn't it?
Totally does. Yeah. And I was thinking that queer folk often can be kind of crazy and dress up and be foolish or do sing-alongs at the Castro Theater, whatever it is. And all of that is quite wonderful, and we have some ability to be foolish.
Yes.
And yet I don't think we always experience the power in the foolishness and the sacredness that can happen out of that experience.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And this is an opportunity to kind of drop into every single person. I'm reminded as we kind of close up this video of Mother Teresa and how I met her right before she died, and I remember this is kind of an extra tidbit, but somebody asked her, do you ever get burned out? Because she was always picking up, the sick and the dying and the babies that were sick and malnutrition, suffering from malnutrition. Do you ever get burned out? And she said, no. She said, because for her, it was the Christ. I see the Christ in every person, and that renews me. So there is a quality when I see the beloved, and even the person that I may not initially be attracted to, maybe on the other side of the spectrum, maybe anything, but when I make that connection, I change.
Yes.
So brothers and sisters, these more ideas for you. Namaste.